Hey, get out of the way. People are tired of the Jeep videos. It's time to change it up. What do you mean change it up? This is a Jeep YouTube channel. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Now, the reason for the change up today is for a simple reason. I get a lot of questions about what we're covering. So if you guys have seen my off-road videos, my reviews, whatever the case may be on the Rubicon 392 or other videos in the past, a lot of times you guys will see a different firearm in there. And with that, I get a lot of questions about what my favorite truck gun is. Now, one thing I feel like we need to make very clear is that your truck gun is not going to be your normal everyday carry. So in terms of your everyday carry, concealed carry gun, that's not the gun we're talking about. So these guns are basically secondary guns to your everyday carry. So essentially, whenever you leave the house, your vehicle is your home base. A truck gun is supposed to be a lot more versatile than just your normal concealed carry weapon. Now, the first gun on my list is actually something a lot of you probably don't expect. Now, this is a lever action 30-30. This is a Marlin 336W, and with it is a great gun. Now, it holds 7 in the actual tube itself, of course 1 in the chamber, and with that, you're actually packing quite a bit of punch whenever you're considering that you've got these rounds right here. Now, the 30-30 is a great round, and it's probably taken out more deer than any other gun in North America, so it's already a proven round itself, and the lever action guns are extremely capable. Now, back in the day before you had magazine fed guns, these were used for self-protection, these were used for war, these were used for hunting, they were used for everything. For the capacity as well as the ease of reloading, it was extremely quick and extremely functional. Now, these guns are 100% underrated now, and they used to be quite a bit cheaper, so it would have ranked higher on my list, but now most of these guns, just like this one here, are pretty darn expensive. You can probably buy an entry-level AR for the price you can buy some of these nowadays. It's crazy to see the prices go up, but if you can get one for a good deal, I think these are great firearms to have as a truck gun, especially because most of these lever actions are going to come with the iron sights like you see right here. Of course, we've got the scope on this one as well. Now, the scope is nice for the actual purpose I have this gun for. It's more of just a deer rifle, but you can reach out to somewhere around 300 yards comfortably, and you can hit accurately out to 300, and that bullet's still got plenty of power to take down whatever you're shooting at. So it's a good gun to extend your reach compared to the pistol, and you've also got that reliability that you really don't have to worry about anything. You can't really beat that in terms of function and reliability. So now that we've got trusty and reliable out of the way, I want to go over a different category of firearms. So this is actually the ATI Omni Hybrid. It is an AR pistol that's chambered in 223-556, and this one is actually a polymer configuration. So it's actually got a polymer upper and lower, as well as some polymer parts inside the lower itself. Now, a lot of the parts that need to be reinforced by metal are reinforced, so you still have that strength and rigidity, but it's still polymer, so keep that in mind. Now, this has got a 7.5-inch barrel, and the cost on these is extremely cheap. So one of the main points of a truck gun is to kind of have one that's almost disposable. Now, whenever I say disposable, I literally mean one that if it gets stolen, it's gonna be a bad day, but it's not the end of the world. And I think these serve that purpose extremely well. Just in terms of the normal feel, it feels like a pretty basic AR. I've taken it apart and looked everything over, and it is actually reinforced in all the places that you'd want to see those metal reinforcements. So here recently, I'm sure you guys have seen with the proposed ATF ban on the pistol braces themselves, a lot of the pistol variations of the AR platform have been reduced significantly. Now, a lot of the stores won't actually sell them with the brace right now, which I guess I understand. They want to see how all that clears in the air in court, but you can get these all for a pretty decent price. Right now, you can get these ATI Omni Hybrids chambered in 5.56 for anywhere around $350 to $400. Now, for that price, to be able to have an AR platform pistol that obviously accepts the standard 30-round magazine with a tried and true round, it's pretty hard to beat. And for $400, I don't know if there's much out there that can honestly compare to it. These AR pistols are extremely capable of being an extremely effective tool to really help you get through whatever situation you need to. Now, still staying on number 2, I wanted to go over another variation of the AR pistol. So of course you can use the 7.5 inch barrel, but you're not really getting the full capabilities of that round that way. Of course, whenever you get a little bit longer barrel, it's gonna help. Now this is a 10.25 inch barrel, so you're getting quite a bit more velocity out of that 223 5.56 round. And with this isn't as much of a disposable one. But just to serve as another example of what a AR pistol could be, this is a really great example. Of course, I've got the laser light here as well, which definitely helps if you are in a nighttime situation. Even in the daytime, it helps just for accuracy on these pistols. And really and truly, this compared to the other one is just a nicer rifle. So this is another option if you're willing to spend a little bit more and you're okay with losing a little bit more if your vehicle or if your gun out of your vehicle does get stolen. The other options that are a little bit more expensive for those AR pistols is definitely something to consider. Now, just to cover something a lot of people haven't in other videos I've seen, of course, a lot of people are going to be carrying a Glock 19. It's probably the most carried concealed carry weapon that there is out there. Now, of course, with the Glock 19, you only get the capacity of about 15 rounds, so that doesn't give you much capacity to really consider it a truck gun. This is going to be most people's concealed carry gun. With that being said, if you don't have the money or you're not willing to spend the extra money to go out and get a secondary truck gun like that, maybe just get a little conversion for it. Now, this is definitely an option that I don't see considered very often. This is the MCK conversion kit, and for it just makes it a little bit more functional for the purposes like we're talking about now. And the best part about it is you don't have to go out and buy a whole nother gun. Now, you would want to definitely keep more magazines, just like you can see here, because if you're not concealed carrying the 19, you have a lot of different magazine options to really increase its capacity. So that's a great option with the Glock 19s. Aside from that, with this, of course, you've got a Picatinny rail mounted on the top, so you do have the ability to mount an optic, which is extremely nice. And you've also got the ability to mount a flashlight right here in the actual MCK little kit. It's a great little kit that folds down extremely tight, so you are able to really store this really easily. It doesn't take up much space. You've also got this forward grip here that actually stores another magazine. So it's a great option for somebody that isn't really wanting to spend that much money and they still want to use that same round that they've already got. That way you can train with the 9mm all the time. You know how the Glock works and how dependable they are. I can guarantee these little kits don't actually affect the consistency and the reliability of the Glock 19 itself. It's just another way to enhance your tool, and it's a great option for that. So if you're wanting to be a little bit more budget minded and you've already got a Glock or many other guns, they make many different kits for a bunch of different guns. I think this is a great option. That way you have the ability just to reach out a little bit further and a little bit more accurate. So it could definitely help in a situation where you need to use your truck gun. And the MCK isn't the only option for that. I've actually got a Recovery 2020 tactical kit as well, which folds up quite a bit smaller. It's more of like a little exoskeleton for your Glock 19. It does enhance the capabilities of the firearm a little bit. It doesn't really do much aside from giving you another point of contact, but I mean, it is a great option, and I think it is better than just having your standard Glock 19 for whatever situation you may need your truck gun for. A little bit more versatile, and of course you can use your higher capacity magazines with any of the Glock 19s. So just the actual overall versatility of the Glock 19 is extremely impressive, and just to have these different options, obviously from just 2 of these different manufacturers here, is extremely impressive. So I don't want people to overlook the concept of a pistol caliber carbine or one of these kits to throw on their everyday carry. It's definitely better than having nothing at all. And with this, whenever you store these, you can obviously store extra magazines. So it's great to know if you run out with your standard everyday carry weapon, you can go back to a kit that you have set up just like this, where you've got more ammunition as well as more capabilities all in a box. So it's a great option, and it's something I think people really just overlook altogether. And just to go over an honorable mention in this category for number 3, I've got to mention the Hi-Point 995. It's a gun, and it shoots every time you pull the trigger. So at least for a truck gun itself, it's actually what I used it for back in high school. It's extremely affordable. It's a gun you can leave in your truck, in your car, and you don't really have to worry about something happening to it. If it does, you get another 200 bucks together and you go get another one. But these are actually extremely reliable. A lot of people don't give them the credit they deserve in terms of their reliability. Now, I'm not gonna say their fit, finish, or function is absolutely perfect, but it does work, and it's an extremely affordable price. Now, standard, these just come with a 10-round single stack magazine, so you are limited on the capability in terms of capacity for these firearms, but there are some decent options out there for higher capacity magazines to get you up to 20 rounds. They don't typically work as well as the standard 10-round magazines, so that's something to consider. But nevertheless, instead of having no gun at all, this is a great option for a truck gun. And really, in terms of that pistol caliber carbine category, there's a lot of really nice rifles that get extremely expensive. So to have this in your vehicle makes sense. It is going to go off every time you pull the trigger. They're pretty accurate for what they are because they've got a 16-inch barrel. It is a blowback design, but for the cost of it, it's extremely hard to beat. You can get one of these for the same price as one of those MCK conversions, and you've got a whole nother gun. So it's at least something to consider. Now, moving on to number 4, this is actually another budget gun. You can tell it's an AR, full length, 16-inch barrel, and some of you can probably already tell that this one's quite a bit different. There's something that just seems off to you, right? It should be the magazine. See, this isn't chambered in 223 or 5.56. This is actually chambered in 7.62 by 39. So it gives you quite a bit wider range of capabilities in terms of a firearm for the truck. Now, 7.62 by 39 is traditionally used in the AK-47 platform, and with it, obviously, they have built a reputation of their own, but the round itself is extremely capable. So a lot of situations where you're out in the backwoods and you don't necessarily want to use a 223 on a bigger animal, these 7.62 by 39 are great for that. So if you're out in bear territory, somewhere like that, and you've got bigger animals around, you don't necessarily want to use that 223 5.56 for them. This is a great option whenever you still don't have to pay that 308 price. So 308 would be great too, but for the price of the ammunition and the price of the gun, this is actually a Radical Firearms AR-15, of course chambered in the 7.62 by 39, and they are extremely cheap. So this gun altogether, even with the B5 furniture and the full fore-end up front with the M-lock attachments as well as the Picatinny rail all the way across the top, I think the price on them is right around 500 bucks. Now, the MSRP online will be around 700, but if you do some shopping and you look around, you can find one of these Radical Firearms 7.62 by 39 for literally around 500 bucks. So it's extremely hard to beat, and you're getting a little bit of a step above that 223 5.56, especially in closer range situations. Now, this is still a fairly accurate gun out to 200, 300 yards. It's just not a pinpoint accuracy whenever you use that 7.62 by 39, especially not if you're buying the cheaper stuff, just to be honest. So for a truck gun, it seems extremely capable for any situation you need to use it in. Of course, for two-legged critters, this 7.62 by 39 round has probably taken out more of them than any other round in modern history, so it's a really capable setup, and it's in an extremely familiar platform, the AR platform, and it's set up really well. Now, for most of these ARs that you guys are seeing, I use a lot of 6-hour optics. So for this one, this is the SIG Romeo 5, and I think you already saw another one with the SIG Romeo 5 on it as well. And then some of my other guns, I'll use a SIG MSR. It's an extremely cheap red dot that you can find for literally like a 70 bucks, 80 bucks on sale. I remember I bought them whenever they first came out for like 140 at the time. So for the price of those little tiny MSRs now, they work really well. Now, this gun itself, like I say, for the price, for the caliber, for the capabilities, and the familiarity of just having it in an AR platform, I don't think you can beat that for a truck gun. So that's why this is number 2 on the list. Now for number 5, it's probably something a lot of you expect. This is just your traditional AR-15. So you guys can see here, I've actually got this one set up a little bit different style. This is more like a mid-range precision style setup. This is actually the first AR that I ever built, but it's one of my favorite guns just because I know how capable it is and I've got really comfortable with it over the years. I've got it set up pretty much exactly the way I want. Now, I don't have any backup or secondary sights on this, but it works extremely well with an illuminated reticle as well as a red dot built into it. You can see I've got my bipod set up right here, an extremely cheap bipod, but some of the biggest points about this gun is it's got the Palmetto State Armory lower, so I bought the lower separate, and it's actually got the Gadsden flag laser engraved, which is a cool touch. Aside from that, we've got the standard Magpul furniture, so Magpul vertical grip, Magpul pistol grip, Magpul carbine buttstock, which works great. And then going beyond that, we've actually got an Anderson Arms upper, and then we've got an Anderson Arms forend. Of course, it's free float there as well. We've got a mid-length gas system, and then we've also got a Wilson Combat barrel, and then a Wilson Combat bolt carrier group. So with those things put together, it's a great little package. I built it back whenever I was in middle school or maybe just the beginning of high school, and I've used it ever since. I've put over 1,000 rounds through it and really enjoyed it. I've never had a single issue or anything like that. So it's just a gun that I'm extremely confident in, one that I put together myself a long time ago, and I know it's gonna work. So I think that custom make it your own gun fits that situation for a lot of different people, and I feel extremely comfortable with having this rifle paired with a Glock 19 or my M&P Shield. I think it's a great combination, and this is a great gun to have for your truck gun. Now, to be 100% honest with you guys, I don't always carry a rifle in my vehicles at all times. I really don't, simply because a lot of times whenever I go off-road, which is usually what I take my Jeep out for more than anything, I'll carry something a little bit different. So keep in mind, this is pretty much what I have with me on a standard day. Of course, I've got the M&P Shield. That's going to be my concealed carry. And then this would be my truck gun if I really needed it. Now, whenever I'm going off-road and stuff, this is kind of the gun I have in mind because I can still throw my holster on and use it. This is actually the Glock 40 MOS, and it's chambered in 10mm, so it's an extremely capable round. Really, no matter what your intentions are with it, whether it's for self-defense, with two-legged or four-legged animals, but this is a great option, the round itself. And obviously with it being a Glock, you've got capabilities of using an extended magazine, so you can go up to 30 rounds, and 30 rounds of 10mm is pretty hard to beat. Now with this Glock 40 MOS, it is cut back here for an optic. I haven't thrown one on it yet, and I honestly haven't shot it too awful much. I do carry it with me quite a bit whenever I'm going out in the woods, going riding, whatever the case may be. If you're on a side-by-side in a Jeep, on a motorcycle, this is pretty much the gun that I like to carry because it's pretty much capable in any situation. So guys, that is going to finish up my list of the top 5 truck guns with a couple bonuses in there for you too. If you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see next. And if you guys do enjoy this type of content compared to my normal off-road or automotive-oriented content, let me know. I'd be happy to make some videos on firearms. But until next time, Godspeed.